And the president once again questions the integrity of the mail-in ballots. We're going to bring in political insider Armstrong Williams right now to discuss this with us. And with 40 days to go to the election, and he is down in some battleground polls, President Trump says he's not sure this year's election is going to be honest. He claims the mail-in voting is a big scam. He won't commit to a peaceful transition of power if he loses. What's your reaction to the president's latest words?
He's just playing into the media frenzy. He's gouging the media, getting the media uptight, the narrative. While he does have concerns about the mail-in ballots, he does have concerns about the elections and the fact that there have been some ballots that were tossed out in Pennsylvania and all had their names on it. And the Department of Justice has launched an investigation. There is no doubt in the minds of people that know the president that if the president were to lose this election on November 3rd, or whenever they determine that the election is over, that he would continue that peaceful transition of power. It's just another thing to feed the media, because there's nothing with these stories about Donald Trump, and he's just playing the media, and they're just falling for it, like we're talking about it today.
And what is the advantage to President Trump of casting doubt over this election?
Well, listen, Melanie, let's be clear. With the way this election is going, on November 3rd, I mean, it may be a protracted process. It may, I don't think anyone expects to know who the president is on the night of November 3rd or the next day. This could go back into Thanksgiving. Remember, the Supreme Court had to decide Bush versus Gore. So I think there's legitimate concerns about these ballots being counted and that idea of when this election is over. But I think what the president is saying on a much deeper level is that I'm not going to concede defeat until I know that every ballot has been counted, every voter has been accounted for, and if the results show that I am not the winner, that the American people have decided otherwise, then I will step down. But until that process is in place and we can legitimately say this is certifiable, then he's leaving it open to the possibility that he wants a fair election and that he's not going to go anywhere until it's absolutely a fact that he's no longer president. And listen, we're assuming that he's going to lose. I mean, it could be a landslide on Election Day. These numbers are closed. The president is showing that he's not only a statistical top, but in some of these battleground states like Ohio and Florida, for the first time, the president has a slight lead. So anything can happen. We're over a month away from this election, so nobody knows. The Democrats should be just as concerned as President Trump.
Let me move to the coronavirus, and the case numbers continue to go up. Now we've got over 200,000 deaths in this country from coronavirus, and yet the president gives himself an A+ in handling it. What grade would you give the president?
I'm not here to grade the president. The American people grade the president on November 3rd when they decide whether they want him to continue as their president for the next 4 years. But listen, one of the things that we forget about in this issue of the coronavirus, where it seems that we want to blame the president, is that during the month of January, when Wuhan indicated that this virus was spreading, what were the Democrats doing? They were busy trying to impeach the president of the United States for the month of January. Nobody wants to talk about that anymore. I mean, Fauci, the president, the Congress, everybody has a hand into why we're where we're today. It's not just the president. And now we got the CDC telling us that the virus is no longer airborne. You cannot contract the virus by walking outside. These guidelines change every day. And the president's fine. Of course, the president's going to give himself an A+. You think he's going to give himself a D, a C? The president wants to be perfect. He wants to be perfect for the American people. He's an optimist. So why are we surprised if the president gives himself an A+? That's what he does. He's a salesman. And actually did a pretty good job because he was elected.
We'll have to let that be the last word. Thank you so much, Armstrong. You can watch the Armstrong Williams Show every Saturday morning at 10:30 right here on WJLA 24/7 News. We'll be right back. We've got this week's Food Bank Friday coming up next.